That's not bad, Charles. Write that down for next year.
Right. I feel like
ASMR panel.
All right. How close must I be to this thing? Right there, magical. Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Stephanie Canada. This is Putting the U Back in YouTube. Bots be damned, I say. Yes, I'm loud. It's going to happen a lot. But before we get started, I do have a lovely little reminder to let you know that we are partnering with DragonCon. They are committed to helping the community through raising funds and providing a dollar-for-dollar match of $125,000 to this year's charity, NAMI of Georgia. You're not alone. No matter how you have been affected by mental illness, please know you are welcome here. NAMI's goals for Georgia are advocating at the county, state, national level for non-discriminatory access to quality health care, housing, education, and employment for people with mental illness. Educate the public about mental illness, or with, depending, who knows. Both is fine. Work to eliminate the stigma of mental illness and support individuals and families affected by mental illness. If you would like to donate at the end of the panel, the QR code will be right up here for you. Okay. But the real reason you're here, Kate, I blame you for this.
Okay. Sorry,
We are discussing today how to keep yourself in your YouTube channel, because I do not care what anyone else tells you at this entire con. AI will not grow your channel. Bots will not grow your channel. Real people that make real comments and exist in this world will grow your channel.
Yep.
On any platform. This is not just YouTube. But for those of you that don't know, we're going to do some introductions all the way down. I will start with myself. Hi, I'm Stephanie Canada. No, I'm not from there. I do, in fact, live in Florida. That is my legal government name. And what I do is I do ridiculous sewing things like this on my channel. Yes, you've been conned into coming to a sewing slash YouTube welcome.
My crocheting is in my bag. I can just
bust it out. Let's go. All right.
I made this.
But that is what I do. And I am on both YouTube, Instagram, and occasionally TikTok, assuming it's still going to exist in a few months. Who knows?
Oh, look at me.
And that is where you can find me. And now let's introduce the rest of our panelists, and I'm going to let them do that job.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Deanne Lee. I'm a biologist and a science communicator. Yes. I spend time on social media demystifying the science process by sharing the science that I do, which is working with students, both high school and undergraduate, and we explore nearby nature in our local backyard.
I love that.
Thank you.
It's awesome. I am Bethany Brookshire. Because this is a social media associated panel, I am BEE Brookshire across all socials. Nice. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Blue Sky. So I am a science journalist. I used to be a scientist. I got over it. And so now I use social media in various ways. So I use text-based social media for opinion stuff and also to share the stuff that I write because I am a journalist. But more importantly, on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, I run what's called the Insomniac Anatomy Academy because I have insomnia. And when I can't sleep, I study anatomy. And then I teach people about it on social media. And it's pretty fun.
I love that so much. All right, next up.
Hi, I'm Kristen Jackson. I'm a graphic designer. I work a lot in the film industry, and since this is a social media related panel, I was the social media voice for several of our web series. So if you ever followed our web series and you were interacting with a very snarky, kind of quasi-humorous, nasty person or voice of the series, that was me.
Nice.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kate Osborne. I go by Katiosaurus online. I am a speaker, an educator, a YouTuber. I'm on every social media platform. There's too many of them. And
I follow her.
Same.
And I talk a lot about neurodivergency. I also, one time I made a sewing video. Does that count?
You did. You also made an antique video with me.
I did. That was such a fun day. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted. And yeah, I talk about neurodivergency. In particular, I talk about neurodivergency and its impact on relationships, communication, intimacy, and sometimes even sex. Oh, and I wrote a book.
Yeah, you did.
Thank you.
Ooh. All right. Now that we have had a chance to meet all of our panelists, I do just want to let you all know that we will be doing a question and answer section. That'll be the last 20 minutes of this. So as we're going through having this discussion up here, just be thinking of things, and then we will line up at when we have question and answers. I'll call you, we'll come to the mic, okay? That's how we're going to do this. All right. So what have you gotten into? That's a really great question. What you have gotten into today, sorry, I'm too tall for this microphone. So YouTube and all social medias are a back and forth conversation, right? When you are putting something out into the world and you want someone to see that thing, that is a conversation that you are having with your audience. And that conversation is a two-way street. Now, if you do get large enough, sometimes that two-way street becomes a two-way trickle because you don't have enough time or bandwidth to answer every single question. Heck, sometimes you can't even catch the bots when they're in there. But knowing that is the first step to truly getting started with this whole journey. Whether you already have a channel and you're not sure how to make it grow, knowing that fact that it is a two-way communication. So if you were to comment on a video for me and I enjoyed it or I saw it and it made me laugh and it gave something back to the community that you're creating, there's a good chance that that creator will then respond to you. And that response to the people that are on the other side is so important. And I don't mean to get off on diatribe here for a start, but don't also think that you need to respond to every single comment. It's literally not possible. Kate?
What?
Kate has a pretty intensive comment section sometimes.
Yeah, it's
But
great.
the nice thing is that as you create those communities, your community will start to answer for you sometimes too.
Yeah, it will.
Yep.
So do you guys have any insight as to how you have built a community through your socials? Like, what have you done? What has excited you to create this community and keeps you going through all of the things that social media will put you through? Because there is a lot.
Yeah, I can start out. I've talked about this before in past years in the film industry track, or the film track, that it is so important what you're saying, that it is a two-way street. So when you are getting comments from your followers, from your fans, to respond back and recognize those people is so important. Because I was talking with some filmmakers, they have social media, but they never responded. You didn't know if you were just posting to an empty room,
Or someone's PR team.
And so as Demon X, as Life XP, as Divine, the series, I was always responding back to the people and interacting with them. And one of the greatest things that personally for me that I ever got was this fan said that, she just messaged the series, not knowing it was me. But she said, I was going through a really hard time. I was having depression, major depression. And I looked forward to seeing your snarky comments. They made my day and made me feel so much, I was giving her something to look forward to. I was not aware of that. She was going through this on her end.
Yeah.
But what you're saying really can reach people and make a difference. A bot will never, you might have 10,000 bots following you, they will never have a community. But if you're actually interacting with real people, you can build a community, and like you say, they will then send that message further.
Because they'll show up for you in ways that you don't even know. You're not in the room, you're not with them, you're not with their friends. They're there talking about you. I've been to, yes, I'm a sewing YouTuber, so I've been to sewing conventions, and I have people walk up to me and be like, "You're the only reason I feel okay to sew, because you show all your mistakes. No one else does that." And I'm like, well, no, there are other people that do that. It's just you haven't found them yet.
Yeah.
So let me tell you the channels that inspire me, because that type of word of mouth with a real person is what's going to bring you the people that you want to see your content. Okay?
I now
Yeah.
feel inspired
I love
to
it.
go and make a video of me frogging like half an Afghan, just like to make people feel better, because I have and will continue
You
to do such
should.
things. It'd be a really long video though.
That's what time lapse is for.
It's true. But I did want to say that it is a two-way street, but it's also a two-way street on your terms.
Yes.
Because these are your channels. And I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind. So, for example, the title of this is YouTube. YouTube is the one place that I post that I do not allow comments.
Interesting. Okay.
And it is because the type of comments that I received from putting my face on YouTube was not great.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was, in fact, upsetting. And I also, most importantly, just really didn't want to put other good faith commenters through my comment section.
And that's fair.
Because the thing is, the comment section was super toxic to people other than me. Like, if it was just me, I'm a grown woman.
Yeah.
Okay, like, I can handle myself. But it was toxic in general. And that was just not... It was not something I wanted to be like that. And so I turned off comments on my YouTube. I do have comments on TikTok and Instagram. They are by and large super lovely.
That's great.
And it also is one of the places I think engaging with your people is one of the ways that you can actually find out that you have an impact. Because otherwise, especially, I don't know about you, but like posting about science, it's like screaming into the void. So often I'm sitting here going, I am begging you to care about the posterior cruciate ligament. The posterior cruciate ligament is the ignored older child of the knee ligaments. You do not appreciate her. She is a queen, okay? The ACL is just a diva giving out like every single time, and the PCL is holding it together and never gets any respect. I'm just saying.
So
I may be an
PCL is
eldest
doing all the
child.
women's work?
I may be an older child. Anyway. Where was I? Yes. So the thing is, you engage and you might seem to feel like you're just screaming into the void about anatomy, in my case. And engaging with comments has meant that I get things like, I get people saying, hey, can you look at this thing on my leg?
Oh, no.
Or I have this symptom, please can you tell me what's wrong with me? And my response to that is always, I am not a doctor.
Yeah.
Well, I am not that kind of doctor. I'm a PhD kind of doctor. But my thing is, please go to the doctor every single time. And let me tell you, there is no feeling quite like the feeling of a middle-aged white cis man getting back in there and saying, thank you, I did go to the doctor and I needed to. So
Good.
thanks.
Good.
So engage, because you never know, you might save a life.
Right? Wow, yours is a lot more intense than mine. I'm just out here making people laugh and watching me so repeatedly. That's some good stuff right there.
I mean, when I tell you your EKG is off, I do mean it.
All right. So the other thing that they brought up, right, is engaging on your terms. That's also really important as you want to learn and grow and find this community, because you will find people. Now, my YouTube, because of what I do and the size that I am, my comments are on. It's fine. But what I have discovered, and if you are on YouTube and you have not discovered this button, let me tell you the joys of the hide user from channel button. Oh, yeah. That is the most magical button on the face of the planet. You want to know why? Because they can scream into the void and you will never see it and they will see it, so they feel like I get to say my piece and be a D-bag on the internet. I don't know who's watching this.
And
live.
they're not responding to me because they're scared.
Yeah, they get to feel. They get to
I
feel like
owned
they've
them
got
good.
the one. Yeah, they owned the person on the internet. No one knows they exist. No one else sees their comment. You don't see their comment. You can, if you really want to, you can go into that section. I do not. Once you have earned the hide user from channel button, you will never be coming out of that. Absolutely not, because there is a reason you are in there. You either were attacking someone in my comments, you were attacking me for something I cannot fix in 5 seconds. If my lipstick is on my teeth, please tell me. I would love that. If you don't like the fact that I am a person with a belly, you get to go away now, because I cannot fix that in 5 seconds. You don't get to be fat phobic in my comments just because of the way I look. Yeah. And so for me, my power and what I choose to do is hide user from channel. Goodbye. You go forth and talk into whatever circle of whatever YouTube tucks you into that I never, ever, ever have to see. So what else do you guys do when you find those circles? What do you do to protect your own mental capacity in the spaces that you exist online? Yeah, go.
Oh no, I was gesturing
I-
panic
Oh.
to someone else.
The blue sky.
Revoke
So
to
the
black.
blue sky block button. Mwah. Oh, blue sky block culture is second to none.
I like their block groups. That's my
Yeah.
favorite.
So Blue Sky,
There's a
when
whole
Blue
group.
Sky, which is a Twitter clone for those who are not, I'm not calling it X. I'm not.
No,
okay? It's
absolutely
Twitter.
not.
You don't have to.
And when Blue Sky came into existence, the people who were kind of arriving there were like, you know what? We're just going to make it a culture thing that if you give me the ick for whatever reason, I'm just going to block you.
Yep.
And it's not even personal. I will block people just because I'm like, I don't know.
And unlike other platforms, I don't think there's a limit to how many people you can block on
There
Blue
is
Sky.
not. There is not. And that has been really huge.
Nice.
It's
Excellent.
been really good, and it creates a much more, and that's the thing. I'm not instant blocking. I love constructive dialogue.
Right. Because
Right.
there is a big difference between someone with a genuine question, and maybe it just doesn't read because it's text-based. You can't get the innuendo of the question. And so in those moments, you might axa block somebody. Whoops, my bad, sorry. Or axa hide somebody from the channel. But also, that's on you. It's wherever your mental state is, because you are the person, whether you're the face of your channel, whether it's your hands, whether it's an animation, whatever it is, you're the one creating the content. And you're the one that has to watch out for your own mental well-being in that space, because that's your home.
Yeah.
That's your corner of the internet, no matter how big or small. You can have 10 followers, you can have 1.5 million. It is still your corner of the internet. And that is your ability to handle whatever you can handle. And so if the block button is your best friend because they give you the ick, great, go for it. If somebody, that's fully on you.
Yes.
And whatever makes you happy with your channel. Sometimes I will probably say there was someone who was asking me a valid question, and I might have hid them from a channel because I was in a bad mood. It happens sometimes.
We're all
But-
humans,
Yeah, because sometimes you read it wrong, right? And you're not going to get it right all the time. But also, it's not about, for me personally, because I do exist in a vintage space, but vintage values can stay right where they were. Absolutely not. Not in my space, not in my home. So when those type of comments come up, I will engage the first time in good faith, because I'm hoping that that person is just commenting because they just don't know, right? They don't know, and that's okay. We're giving them the grace for me the first time. But if you're coming at the black members of my community, the people in my comments, my friends in that space, you are gone. Because there is a difference between an honest mistake, an honest question, a genuine question that may be phrased wrong, and attacking the members that I know in real life. I've had people come after one of my very best friends, who is a very fabulous black woman, an amazing sewist, and they come at her in my comments, and I go, "Not today, Satan. Get out." Because I'm not engaging with them at that point.
So the other thing that I would say with regard to protecting your peace, and I don't want to be like the Cassandra / albatross around the neck of this panel, but I do think it's important, if you are trying to build an audience, if you are trying to become someone who is a type of public figure, right? You need to protect your personal data.
Yeah.
You need to do
Absolutely.
it now, and you need to do it before you think you need to. You need to go through doxing protection checklists.
Yeah.
You need to have
Absolutely.
a backup of things and backup accounts that you use for various things. I have never had these things go public, but I have friends who have, and I have friends and colleagues who have, and they are not like excessively public figures. Like, one of my colleagues is a science journalist, okay, and she was posting about Lyme disease, okay, and her son had happened to have Lyme disease. And so she posted about the science of Lyme disease, and she mentioned, oh, my son had Lyme disease, he was okay, it was really pretty mild. She got doxxed.
What?
Yes.
That's wild. But I can also say that even in the smallest of spaces, so we all start somewhere, right? We all start somewhere. You don't start with a couple thousand, a couple million. No, we all start somewhere, and somewhere is zero. You all start at zero. We are all on the same playing field. So what that means is that you're going to think, oh, well, there's only like 10 people that watch this video. I don't need to worry about blurring my address. I don't need to worry about, showing something that's very close to my home, things like that. Don't do it. Act as if you have 1 million followers and any one person could show up to your house tomorrow, because that is going to be the way that you stay safe as you're building this community that you want to build.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really scary, and we don't mean to scare the crap out of you. People are weird, man.
Yeah.
People are creepy.
There's also, if you are a aspiring YouTuber, there's also services that you can pay who will do that, and you can also add your family members.
Mm-hmm.
I had
delete me.
Yes, delete me.
There's a couple other ones too, but I had the unique experience of my mom got doxxed. I got doxxed, and then they doxxed my mom as a little tasty bonus. So after that experience, I put all of my family members onto the program, and so I highly recommend that if that is a concern that you have.
Yeah. Because
Also,
no channel is too small for that to happen.
Yeah, and just
It's not.
as a matter of just digital hygiene for everyone here, I realize it is back to school time. Please do not post photos to the internet of your child right in front of their school with their teacher's name and their age and everything. Just don't, man.
Yeah. But, well, all right. I mean, we can be louder if you want.
They're exciting. Yeah, so one of the things I had to learn early on, and I think we all did, is figuring out your voice and being authentic, but managing the practice of being friendly without automatically assuming everyone is your friend. Yes. So having a very approachable, you want to feel warm, you want to be that, but you're not actually revealing any real personal information. So find that balance there of still being authentic, still sharing yourself, but not sharing all those really, really fine everyday details. You could talk about the thing that you do. So I like to think of it as focusing on processes. Processes are good. You could talk about the finished product. I like to focus on more mechanistic things and building that up and show your personality without necessarily giving all the exact details of every single thing. And so you can still build community, you can still build warmth and connection, but it creates this a nice professional but soft barrier.
Yeah.
Between you and the audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
The parasocial element of I have a lot to say about that.
my
but
God.
the parasocial element of content creation can be really challenging to navigate. And I love that you said that, because I will fully admit, when I first started, I just ripped open my soul and I just gave everything to everybody, because I thought that's what you had to do, and I honestly, I really regret it now. I have a lot of regrets about how I first sort of hit the ground running when I was doing content. But yeah, the parasocial element, especially when you start growing, when your platform starts to get large enough that people, I don't know, for instance, recognize you in the bathroom. That happened to me 2 hours ago, and I was like, maybe don't. But yeah, so that kind of thing. So really being aware of the fact that there are going to be people who look at you as though they know you, and they have that assumed familiarity and that assumed sort of friendship. And I think, can I tell a really silly story?
Go for it.
Okay,
I love silly stories.
I like anecdotal communication. So I was talking to one of my theater, I went to school for theater, and one of my mentors was like, so what's it like? This is crazy. Can you believe that this happened? I said, the weird thing about going to school to be an actor is that at no point do they teach you what to do if you get successful. There's just they just assume that you're gonna graduate and then go be an accountant. And so there's there's no class, there's no instruction on how to meet a fan or how to sign an autograph. Don't sign the way that you sign your checks.
No, don't do that.
Or what to do if somebody walks up to you dressed as you, a cosplay of you. Also a thing that has happened to me. And so because of that, there's a really steep learning curve. And so being your authentic self, presenting yourself authentically to the world, sometimes there has to be kind of inauthenticity to that authenticity, because it's about protecting yourself. It's about remembering that not every person is your friend, or people, or you're like me and you're very gullible. People who pretend to be your friend might not. And so, like, I don't know, I don't want to be all like doom and gloom about it, but I think acknowledging the parasocial aspect is really important, because it can get really wild really quickly. Especially like and especially when you have a larger platform. Like, I think those, people tend to kind of like glom together, and they're like stronger in numbers. So just a thing to consider.
Yeah, because especially like, so something that comes up on my channel quite frequently is that people feel, one of my favorite comments that I absolutely leave every single time is because they're like, why do you sound like an announcer all the time? Why do you talk like you're an announcer? I said, because that's me dialed to 11. Because that's my, hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm your opera stage manager for this production. Yes, just like the country. No, I don't live there. Yes, that is my stage manager voice, which they do teach you as a stage manager, because that's what I did. I used to be in charge of operas all around the country, and now I sew for people to laugh at on YouTube. So what a heckin' place we're at in life. So it's that thing that, yes, I bring my authentic self to this thing, but how do you change it that makes you comfortable when you go out into a con that, yes, people know you're here, but you don't assume anyone knows who you are, and then you get stopped 4 times before you check into the hotel. And I'm like, what is happening? I'm not that big. Nor do I've only just started doing cosplay things. But what I do is I am loud on the internet about telling you that your mistakes are valid and that you can work through every single one of them to get to an end product. You might not always like that end product. It might not always bring you the most joy, but you can get there.
That's a good life lesson. I love that.
So I do want to add about the authenticity. So like, people might be thinking like, oh my God, nobody is on the internet is authentic. Like, that's really unfair. That's rude. I am absolutely authentic. I am that passionate about the role of the PCL. Okay,
Love
the posterior
Love
cruciate. I will stand this anyway. But there's other body parts that I also am very passionate about. Not like that. This is no, not like that.
Did we just need to change our rating on Twitch?
No.
Anatomically speaking. So
7:30.
right, anatomically speaking. Okay. So I think one of the things that I think is important to recognize, that when I am filming my series, when I am going on a podcast, when I am writing, for example, I am authentic. I am myself. I am a version of myself.
Yeah.
Right? I contain multitudes. And I am the version of myself that is writing this. I am not the version, sitting at home in my pajamas, though I might actually be that at that time.
I think of it this way: when we show up in different places, or work, or a third place, you're not you're still you, but you have that different version. Like you're presenting a different professional side of yourself. This is just a different dimension. So think of it as a fourth place. This digital space is still you, but you're still approaching it professionally. And you figure out which wedge of you present there, so that you don't give it all away. You don't act exactly depending on your job, I hope you don't act exactly the same way you do at home as you do at your job. But many of us don't. And that doesn't mean you're not being you. It's just, that's just the appropriate thing. You show up the way you need to show up to do that thing.
Yeah.
And you still keep some for yourself. So think
Absolutely.
about it that way.
And the thing is that when you present that online, that's what people are going to be attracted to. You're going to find your people just by figuring out how you want to present yourself, right? Because originally, when I started this whole thing, I was god-awful. I was terrible. I didn't know how to speak to a camera because I was used to speaking to a room full of opera singers, not a camera in a small room. And so I had no idea what I was doing. And so through learning and through making the mistakes and through figuring out exactly how I want to be online, who do I want to present, if you can figure that out from earlier on than when I did, then you're already a step ahead. You're already going somewhere. You're like, oh, I want to be the person that champions for the PCL, right? The underrepresented ligament That's who I want to be. If you
I am so glad that I have educated all of you, and I hope you all go out into the world
I'm so excited
appreciating
to
your
go learn.
news.
I'm going to go Google this when we're done.
Okay.
I'm so excited. So, but that's the thing. If you can figure that out early, if you can ideate, if you can plan that out, like, what do I want to do? And the thing is, that's just version 1. You can go through many versions of you on YouTube. You can have all different varieties of styles, of creations, of videos you want to create. But if you know what you want your audience to walk away with, that's how they're going to know that you mean business, that you are someone they want to follow, that you're someone they want to come back to and call home, right? Because, like, I don't know about you guys, but, like, I try to keep on a vaguely weekly schedule so that the folks that when I post, they know sometime either Friday or Saturday, there's going to be a new either ridiculous sewing video or ridiculous home video that probably has no business being on the internet because I use things that absolutely don't belong, like this week. But, like, it's that thing of they know they're going to come back, they're going to see what shenanigans I've gotten into. Because the other thing to know, if especially for YouTube, right? Because if we're here, that was sort of the name of the panel. Think of it like the old school weekly sitcom. You knew what time Friends was coming on or what time your favorite show was coming on, Seinfeld, Star Trek The Next Generation, whatever. You knew exactly when your butt needed to be on that seat so that you could watch and see what they had gotten into this week. YouTube is sort of like that. It's turning into a version of television. My percentage of people that watch me on a television is 45% of my audience sits down on their couch and watches me like I'm a sitcom. And that is wild to me because even a year ago, that percentage was 10%. So if you think of whatever content that you're bringing to the table as a type of reliable content that they can come back every week and see what you've done, or every 2 weeks, or every month, as long as you're up front with whatever works for you, it'll work for your audience if you tell them what to expect.
Yeah.
They can't guess. They don't know what's in your brain.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if maybe you're a daily person, maybe you're a like in the moment type of person, great. Then keep showing up for them like that. And they know that they can come back and laugh along with you, see what you've got into, watch your friends' stories incessantly. Right there at the
Please
end of the
tell
table.
me, by the way, that you're going to add a laugh track. Because if you're going to go full sitcom, I want a laugh track. I want the whole,
Have you watched? You should watch a video. I spent the better part of the last 12 hours adding sound effects to my YouTube video
for your
because
service.
I'm one of the few people, and I get this in my comments. They're like, "Wait, I just laughed at a sewing video. What is happening on the internet?" I'm like, "Yes, you're welcome. Please come back." So
that was going to get into one of the, from a process point of view of like steps. One of the most important things I did when I finally started taking my social media presence seriously and building my platform was I developed and I stuck to an editorial calendar.
nice.
And so
Very
that's
nice.
when you literally sit down and you ask yourself, what do I want my content to be? So so it's not just the timing. Do I always post something, Mondays at 7:00? If you do, or if let's say it is once a week, then the first Monday is always on A. The second Monday is always on a different thing. So in other words, set an actual editorial calendar, and
That's
to present that thing on a regular basis. Content is important. You got to figure, frequency is important. The more you post, the more you're going to get stuff. But you got to come up with a schedule that you can actually pull off.
Yes.
If you can't, especially if you're like, I want to put in all the editing and do all the other stuff, if that's your thing, then you got to account for all of that time. So for, a 3-minute video, if it takes you roughly an hour and a half of work, you got to account for that in your editorial calendar. I do this on this day, and this is how much time this takes. Or you are like, listen, I point and shoot, and you going to get what you get.
That's me.
That could be it. And let me just say this. That's a good place to start. As you do well, as you build your audience, you will find yourself going, I need to start cleaning stuff up. Or I got to at least get better at, tightening up my message or my angles if I'm going to continue pointing and shooting. And I want it to be better. But a good place to start is simply an editorial calendar. How frequently do you want to do it, and what themes do you want to post on a regular basis? So, If you do it twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays, Mondays is always about topic A, Thursday is always a follow-up. And don't miss the opportunity to create content. Sometimes you're like, I don't have anything, what I'm going to do. You still need to post content. It could be a simple video of, you know what, I'm taking questions, or I'm gonna pull in the mailbag. So go from the comments and start answering. Like today, I'm gonna answer the questions, most frequent questions on the comments, and do a video of that. But whatever you do is keep your editorial calendar. Like always do it. The consistency will build the community. So I love alliteration. So focus on your content. Be consistent. And that's how you build community.
Love it.
And with some of the stuff, like if you're doing one of the things we decided was instead of calling it content, call it narrative storytelling, because that is from your point of view. You're doing something that can't be done by AI.
Correct.
AI has no point of view. And so in order to stand out, you really need to give your perspective on something. And that can't be duplicated by AI. But going to the scheduling side of things, I worked with some fantastic guys out of Seattle. They have a web series called Dynamo. Look it up. It's sci-fi. It's incredible. But they literally took, I think it's been 10 years between some of the episodes.
Wow.
And so they kind of lost the thread because they weren't following up on their social media to keep people engaged. So when they finally did come out with a follow-up to Dynamo, they've kind of lost some of that original
The steam.
100,000 million audience or whatever that was watching their original videos. So it does, you need, if you don't have fresh videos, fresh stories, that's when you go to your other social media and keep people engaged. Behind the scenes, here's a behind the scenes photo of me screwing up. Here's a behind the scenes photo. Here's a little video clip I did that'll be a teaser for next week's whatever.
Yep.
So you keep people engaged.
Yeah, because that's the perfect point. Is there's your main platform. There's the platform that you want to present yourself on, and then there is your community building platform. It can be wherever you want it to be. If you prefer text-based, go Blue Sky. If you prefer Instagram, go with God and Meta. And pray somebody shows you their content to you. But that's the perfect thing to do, is to have the one platform, and then. Because, unfortunately for YouTube, there is not a good messaging system. They keep trying, they keep not working, right? So it just is what it is, and that's a known entity on YouTube, right? We know that there's no really good way to talk back other than replying to comments, but that can only go on for so long. So like if somebody wants to send you an email or something, and my biggest thing, if you have a YouTube channel, do not, for any reason, your contact email that you put in your bio and that you put places is never the email you use to sign into your YouTube. Never, ever, ever. That is how people have gotten their AdSense stolen. They have gotten their channels taken because they do not keep that layer of protection. Create a junk email, right? Have your business email be completely hidden. Don't ever show it. Don't let anyone know what your YouTube email is. That is the only thing that is protecting you from the scammers, the bots, trying to hack into your account and then ransoming back to you. This actually happened to a friend of mine. They went and changed their AdSense. They requested the one-time change that you can do, and they changed it to the scammer's bank account. So they lost all of their AdSense for an entire month, and they didn't realize it. When their payment came through, they went in to look, and it had been changed, and Google at the time didn't fix it. So they had to scrap that channel entirely and start all over again.
Yeah. That's happened to a lot of big time content.
Yeah.
That's happened to a lot of big time content creators.
Yeah, there's a lot of scams that exist. Also, when that guy comes back with the water, we immediate
Applause.
cheers and applause.
Yes, absolutely.
Go crazy. I'm begging you, please.
Yes.
But yeah, there's a lot of scams like that. There's also, are you familiar with the like, do you want to be on our podcast and we're streaming it live on Meta scam? Do we know about this
hey,
audience?
I'd love to feature your book on my channel.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and like again, like I feel like this panel is just like everything is bad, but like
No.
there's a lot of places to really be aware and protect yourself, and especially if like the emails are a little bit dodgy or stuff like that. Two-factor authentication. That's not how you say that
On
word.
everything. Everything.
That's also really, really valuable because that's at least a stopgap method. If like somebody gets in a little bit, they can't get in all the way.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great.
I am not.
What time was it?
We're all thinking it. Okay.
Are we waiting for the water?
I was just thinking about how excited I am because it's 7:40 and that means it's time for the Q&A.
That is correct. Absolutely. I was about to say
That's
that.
what I was thinking about.
All
I
right,
don't know
so-
what you were.
What you were thinking about? Yeah.
If you have a question, go ahead and we'll just make a nice little line. Go ahead and line on up and we will start answering questions. Yeah, what's your question?
Hi. So I'm probably the one oddball in this room who quit social media 2 years ago.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yep,
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So I guess the reason I was going to ask is because part of it was for mental health, but also like I had not a great experience on YouTube. So I just want to know because we've talked about a lot of the negative things and and I'm just sitting here going, yeah, you guys are really making me happy about my decision. Like,
Oh, no.
so two things. I do still have a YouTube, but it's super locked down and private, so I can't comment or anything like that, but I can still watch and I can still like thumbs up. What can I do to support creators like you that I really love and want to support? And then also like, what is your favorite thing about being a YouTuber? Why do you keep doing it despite all this nonsense that you're
Okay.
talking about?
The first thing that, especially if your account is locked down, then this goes for if your account isn't locked down too. The best thing that you can do for the people that you watch is literally talk to another human being, right? You can share the video, great. Please do that. That's another tick in the algorithms box. Don't ask me what the hype thing is. I have no idea. It's brand new. I hate it. But you can be talking to your friends about the creators that you watch and about the creators that you love, because that discussion, that real person to person, you're like, oh, you found a real person on the internet? Cool. Maybe I'll go check them out. Yeah. That's how I found, like, it's for those of you that sewed, like the Closet Historian, Rachel Maxey. I had no idea who these people were when I started. No clue. Absolutely none. I just thought I would be the silly person on the internet talking about vintage patterns and no one would listen to me. I was wrong. Here we are. But that is the way that you do it. You go person to person and you are talking to your friends. You are talking to people in your community, because your community are the people like, oh, well, if I like it, maybe I'll talk to my person about this, and then maybe I'll share their video if I think it's funny. Yeah. Things like that. That's how you can really help. I keep doing it because I believe it or not, even with all the shenanigans, all the hide views from channel, I still get a kick out of making the video. I spend way too much time on mine, way too much. It's criminal. I should not spend that much time on my videos, but I enjoy making people laugh and encouraging them to start or continue or start back sewing, because that is how we're going to take back the power and the means of production, is by teaching it to the people that are out there that you can do it, even if it is just the most basic straight stitch and you are the proudest that you are. I am proud for you. Go wear that thing because you made it. That's what I want people to walk away with my channel from.
I love anatomy. Like, I really do. The human body is so stupid. In the best ways. And also, I just really love teaching. I love teaching people things, and that is what really keeps me going, is when I put something up and somebody will say, oh, hey, I'm an EMT, and I literally never knew that.
Amazing.
Or like, I'm in medical school and you were getting me through my anatomy class.
Yes.
And I'm like, thank you. That is beautiful. And also, I'll admit, I'm a total nerd. I'm absolutely laughing at my own jokes, 100%.
Listen, if we're not laughing at our own jokes while we're doing the edits, who is? What else? Anybody else? Who else?
It's really interesting that you asked that question now, because I'm in the middle of a big sort of rebrand. I haven't made a long form YouTube video in a while, and it's because I've been banking content.
Nice.
And the reason is because I started making content for other people and not for myself. And that is not a good idea because you start creating by committee. And I really lost my sense of self. And so my rebrand and what I'm going to be coming back in 2026, in time for the book, available for pre-order, is that I'm making the content that I want to see. And I'm really excited about the educational component. I talk a lot about intimacy and relationships, that kind of thing. But yeah, anyway, there's so many questions. I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah. All right. What's your question?
So my biggest platform is TikTok, 8,500. So that's kind of my size.
Awesome.
That's good. Yeah.
But this is my question. So I'm a psychiatrist by training, so a medical professional. And I'll give an example. So recently there was a really big video on TikTok about a woman who fell in love with her psychiatrist.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Popcorn. Not enough popcorn in the world. Okay. Yes.
And so I made a video about that just early, and it kind of blew up because that blew up.
Yeah.
So my point is, I guess my question is, how do you have any suggestions about how to respond? Because it does drive engagement, and I saw that particularly with that video, but like I'm not agreeing, or for me, I have professional boundaries that there's certain things I can't do, and I have explained that on my channel about certain things, but I want to respond to drive engagement even though I don't agree, because sometimes if I like a comment, I think some people's perception, I realize that you agree with the comment, like socially, they think you agree, so I want to respond, drive interaction, but even if I don't agree, if y'all have any suggestions about that.
I think
go for it.
never miss an opportunity to make more content. So I would respond, especially if you have if they frequently asked or made comments, use that to then respond broadly to something. And it's okay to say you don't agree. It's like, this keeps coming up. I don't agree with it, and I'm going to tell you why, and here's my professional response to why I think it's problematic. But don't miss an opportunity to answer the question and create content in the process. So kind of gather them up into here's the top 3 main comments, and then make a TikTok for each one of those major things and respond.
Yeah.
And I would say, you're a psychiatrist. This is going to be the easy part for you. Just never forget the empathy, right? Even if you're disagreeing with the commenter, there is a perceived power imbalance, right? They're a commenter on your video, so there's a perceived power imbalance there. Even though, for example, I have doctors coming in and being like, you pronounced that wrong. And I'm like, I can't pronounce this stuff. I'm reading it out of a textbook. Anyway, I'm not good at this. But there's a perceived power imbalance because it is your video and your channel. And also because people do, come in with kind of these deep emotional responses. And so I think responding with empathy is really important. So even when I'm, educating someone on the actual location of the cervix for the 50 millionth time, it's
important
really
work. Absolutely.
It's really important to say, a lot of people think this, and it's absolutely reasonable that you would think this.
Yeah.
And kind of go from there.
That's brilliant. Next question. What you got?
Hi, also, thanks for having this panel. So I actually created my own YouTube channel 2 years ago, and I wish I started sooner. But
that's okay.
Well, because for me, I love long form content more than short form content. I still make shorts here and there, but I prefer the longer storytelling aspect of YouTube. So my question is, how do you guys balance putting content out there? Because for me, I still work at my 9 to 5, and I create anime figure review videos. So for me, it seems like it takes a while because I also have to incorporate B-roll of the product, because you don't want someone to talk over, talking about the product, but not showing and highlighting
show don't tell. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
So how do you balance that? How do you balance having a 9 to 5 when you guys were still doing 9 to 5 with content creation?
I'll let someone who actually had a 9 to 5 answer that.
I still have a 9 to 5.
There, go.
We're not outsourcing to an editor.
I have a 9 to 5, and I actually switched careers and became a science journalist, and I was writing about science on the internet while I was a postdoc.
Wow.
Which I do not advise. Do not do that. Oh my God, he's so
Yes! We love the butter! Thank you.
We got ice. Yes.
Oh, it's ice! Yay! Okay.
We're fancy. We got ice, you guys.
It has, and the good kind of crystallized.
Ooh.
Yes.
Cold water.
Anyway,
cold water.
so
okay,
yes,
9 to 5. Here we go.
I have a 9 to 5, I'm a freelancer, so it's whatever 80 hours I choose to put in that week. And the reality is that, you set an editorial calendar, and in my case, honestly, I let people know, dude, this is me studying anatomy when I can't sleep, and so insomnia, you may be interested to know, is somewhat cyclical in that you go through periods where you just cannot sleep a lick, which like right now, and then you go through periods where you're like, oh, maybe it's fixed. Maybe the magic has happened. The magic has never happened.
Oh.
But so they know that they're going to kind of come in spurts.
Right.
And are those spurts actually because I can't sleep at those particular times? No. They are because, for example, right now I've run out of videos and I do not have time to write the scripts, record, and edit the next 20. And, you just kind of accept that, them's the breaks, and, like, this may stop me from going viral, but...
Because for me, I'm lucky if I post out 2 videos, like, for me, at least once a month kind of thing.
That's the thing. As long as
And
you're
that's
clear...
your calendar.
Yeah, as long as you're clear
That's
with your
it.
audience, that's all you need to know. Take all the time to create the content that makes you proud. Create the content you want to watch. Right? Kate said it. Create the content you want to watch. And however long it takes you, just let it take you that long. And fun fact, as you get better, as you do it more, you'll start getting faster. You'll start being able to do cooler stuff, more fun stuff. But as long as you're upfront with your audience, it's fine. I know some content creators that post once every 6 months, and good gravy, it's a 4-hour sit down. We're going to sit with some popcorn and just listen to ContraPoints because yes, please. And just literally go. And that like once every 6 months, maybe once a year.
Yeah.
But by God, they put so much effort into that, and you can tell. And that's the thing. As long as your heart is in that video, however long it takes you is how long it takes you.
Yeah.
Think of it like a TV series. You have some limited TV series, they only make 10 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have network TV that makes 22 episodes.
Yeah.
And so there may be a very long break between seasons when there's only 10 episodes. But
Yeah.
they're very good episodes. So just kind of think of it like that you're doing this for yourself.
Yeah. And also
So
remember
don't-
that your health is the most important. Your mental health, your physical health, that's the most important thing. Because
And
without
let's be
you,
real,
there's
the
no
ability
content.
to pay your rent. That's
Yeah.
deeply important. Mhm.
Yeah. You're welcome. What's the next question?
Okay, hey, I'm the Opie Princess. My question is that, so I've grown my community on like TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, literally
Awesome.
Facebook, everything. But okay, I started doing cosplay and gaming first, right?
Yeah.
And then I transitioned into voice acting, and at that
Okay.
point, it just became, I know, right?
That's awesome.
It's awesome. But at that point, I noticed that my community, like I'm getting new people in,
Mm-hmm.
but the shift of trying them to just have them grow with this other great thing that I like doing, which helps stop the burnout.
Yeah.
How do you get them to push with you? Because I can only give so much of the new niche compared to the old niche, like
Yeah.
balancing it all.
Yeah.
I'll take this one.
Go for it.
I'm in like 40 different niches. For me, what I have found is that you have to think about your audience in kind of different parts. You have
Yeah.
your like community as a whole. So I have my like 3 million or followers or whatever. But then I have a core community that is like much, much smaller of like, I don't know, maybe like 25,000 people who are they're going to watch every video. They're
Yep.
going to comment every single time. They're going to,
Yes,
we love those
we love
people.
those
Those
people.
are our core audience,
If
right?
you are that person for someone, know that you are seen.
You
Yeah.
are very
Seen
seen.
and, like,
You
are
are very
appreciated.
cherished.
Yeah, those are the ride or dies. They're signing up for the newsletter. They're pre-ordering the book. Like, we love them, right? Then there are the people who are like, okay, I like Kate's ADHD content, right? And then there's the people who are like, I like your TTRPG content. Now, sometimes those people are going to have a Venn diagram, and that's great because maybe both of those audiences. But also, I do Shakespeare. Where does that fit in, right? Or like,
Yeah.
also, I like antique furniture. So like, there's disparate audiences, and I think owning that and unapologetically working with those people is okay, because what I have found is that as the Shakespeare group has gotten, because it started small, I was like 10 people, they're like, everybody else was like, what is this? But
I actually
as
found out about you because of the Shakespeare.
yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying, right? And so, like, as that audience grows, even if you're just giving a little bit of love to them, like, every so often, those people start adding up, and then they go, oh, well, I just found out I have ADHD or whatever, and there might be some overlap.
Yeah.
But I really like to think of, I guess I just think about it in terms of I'm going to give a little bit of love to this group and that group and that group and that group. It is going to be impossible for me. I mean, I guess I could make a video about like ADHD and Shakespeare and kink and TTRPG and antique furniture.
I would
like,
watch that in a heartbeat.
That'd be challenge accepted. But like, you know,
I mean, one could say that is sort of the plot of Taming of the Shrew.
It sort of is, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, just keeping the idea of like your core audience, making for them, and then everything else on top is just like a little bit at a time. I don't know if that answers your question, but you're great.
So I also wanted to add, I have, so I'm here to talk, I'm talking about like some of the stuff that I'm doing with anatomy teaching, but I actually published a book in 2022 on human-wildlife conflict.
Nice.
Which is my actual research specialty. And so on Blue Sky, I'm much more well known for my work in human-wildlife conflict. And like, when I say human-wildlife conflict, I mean, why do people hate rats? That.
Okay.
I definitely thought you meant werewolves.
No.
I don't.
Oh, that's the 10 p.m. panel.
Cool.
All right, don't forget to finish your question.
But yes, so I kind of do that on Blue Sky, and I do other content that is not book related really on TikTok and Instagram, and I have two different audiences, and I kind of accept that there's a very small core group that follows on both places,
Yeah.
but the vast majority do not. I have two different audiences, and maybe they'll never meet, and that's okay.
And also, that's another thing where you can just be upfront with them. You can just sit down in one of your videos, take a 60-second break, and be like, hey, I just want you to know I'm also doing this cool thing. I'd love it if you'd come over and watch those videos too. And if not, if that's not your vibe, that's cool. It's all about talking to them. Because they can't read our minds. Our thumbnails can only be so good, right? But that moment, especially in your bigger videos, right? Go and talk to them and be like, hey, I'm really excited about this thing. I'd love for you to check out those videos too. Because without you asking, there's no way for them to give you a yes or no. Because sometimes that algorithm is not going to show you on their homepage. So you have to tell them, hey, go check out this video that maybe you haven't seen.
And different platforms play to different audiences.
Yes.
So know where your audience is for what you're doing with the cosplay or whatever that you want people to focus on, and go to that platform and build from there.
Yeah. You're welcome. All right, next question. I don't think that works.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I feel like we've lost the sound.
It's all right. Here. Use this one.
Okay, sure. Hi.
Right there. Brilliant.
Okay, so I'm only doing Facebook and Instagram right now, and I've been encouraged to get on YouTube. But I think my purpose is to not only do like a sharing of information about my specialty, but I'm trying to get people to come to my business, come to my actual brick and mortar.
Okay.
So the information purpose, like you were saying, what's the purpose behind it, is to get people to know, okay, my business, this is what we do, this is what it's about, and I'm going to talk a little bit about it, but then I want you to come in physically to participate in what we're doing in the business.
Yeah.
And listening to you guys talk about YouTube, I'm wondering if that's a space for that.
Yeah. So, fun fact, I sell dead people shit. I sell old sewing patterns, and I'm not joking. I'm talking from the 1920s all the way through to 2000s. Don't talk to me. They call it vintage. I don't like it either. So, this is something that I do about once a month on my channel, sometimes a little less depending on what else I have going on. I will specifically, for my business, which is all online, I don't have brick and mortar. So for me, it's about getting them to click and getting them to watch. I can post an hour and a half of me going through old patterns, and people will watch the whole thing and then come buy them from me. Yep. So that is something that once you create that audience and once you tell them, hey, I've got this super cool, but you can come in person. You're cooler than me. I don't do that. I don't have time for that. Too much going on. But that's a thing you can do. You can be like, hey, come unbox whatever you have. Come unbox my new product with me and visit me in my store at X. Yeah. And that, even if it's a small audience, my audience who started back with me when I didn't know to rotate the camera out of horizontal or out of vertical for an unboxing and sat through that god-awful video, they still buy from me today. The number of times on my website I get somebody who comes back over and over and over for vintage patterns as I find them. So it is absolutely doable.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I think one more.
All right, so we have a question from Twitch from Mr. Canada.
Wait. Go ahead. Ned Canada. It's my husband.
Where was the first place someone recognized you from your channel?
Kate, please take this question.
I think it was Target. I'm pretty sure it was Target.
Nice.
I don't know. That's the whole
Mine's
story.
Not
I don't
terribly
know.
mine's not terribly exciting. Mine was, well, I guess it sort of was. It was Disney World. I had 3,000 subscribers and got recognized. And I was like, what? There's not enough of you to do this. But yeah, no, with a mask on at the time, because it was 2021 at Epcot, like we were all outdoors. Yeah, with a mask on, full on recognized. Yeah.
This morning.
Hey! We celebrate the wins!
So okay, we can. Cool. She was like, "You look." I was in the elevator, and this person is like, "You look really familiar."
Amazing. All right, we can fit yours. Go.
That was actually part of my question because
Yeah.
I have a YouTube channel I've been doing a couple years and it's starting to grow. I'm around 1,500 now.
Nice.
Congrats.
Good job.
And I go to a lot of cons and I'm starting to get recognized.
Yeah.
And I've had 2 people recognize me today.
That's awesome.
And I've actually I announced when I'm going to be at the cons on my channel.
Yeah.
And I had one guy in Chicago say that he was coming to visit his cousin. Planned the dates around the con specifically so he could meet me.
Yeah.
You can imagine my surprise when I heard his British accent.
Awesome. So somebody actually came and saw him. Sorry, your microphone went out.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
So my question is, once you get recognized a lot, which I love it inflates my ego more than it needs to be. But I'm also still trying to navigate how you mentioned with the whole acting thing where it's like they don't.
I got this one.
How do you I love it, but it's I just stand there just kind of grinning like an idiot
Okay.
Thanks.
Do you want me to, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you right now, okay? So, best piece of advice that I ever got is that as you get more popular, you're going to have people meet you. And they're going to come up to you in the bathroom and while you're eating and when you're rushing somewhere. And it's going to get normal. It will become normal. But the thing that you have to remember is that for you, this might be the 50th time today that this has happened. But for that person, that is the one time. It's the first, and it's got to be special. Yeah. And so if you can find it in yourself to make it work, and if they're freaking out, if they're a little fan, you say, "What's your name?" You go, "Oh," and they go, "Huh, nice to meet you. Thanks so much. How's your con?" Whatever. And always have an out. Always be like, "Oh, I got a panel to get to." I'm giving that one away for free. So if I tell you that, and you're gonna know, you're like, "Oh, she's trying to get away."
We've got so many panels, you guys. So
but
many
yeah,
panels.
yeah, I know I do. I have 14. But that's the thing is it's so special for them, and it's that moment. And if you can just remember that. Even when you're tired and you're sweaty and you're hot and all of that different stuff, just giving them that moment of empathy, giving them that moment of thank you so much, really just being authentic with them and saying it's really cool to meet you, have a good time. Yeah. And that's it. It doesn't have to be any more than that. But I guarantee you in 5 years, they're going to come up to you again and be like, "Oh my God, you remember?" You might not, but they do.
They do. And on that note, folks, I want to thank you all so much for coming. This is my very first Dragon Con and my very first panel ever, so thank you so much for being so awesome! And don't forget, if you want to donate to NAMI, the QR code is here, and if you want some free stickers, they're right here. Thank you all so much! Don't forget to review the panel, please. Review the panel, thank you.
I also have Dragon Con exclusive badge ribbons if anybody wants
Kate's got
them.
exclusives, we've got stickers. Have a good all time.